that's the punchline, right? It's that every diet works because it gets you in a calorie deficit. Therefore, no diet is better than another. And the answer is whatever is sustainable for you is the best. But that's not a sexy answer, and that doesn't sell. This guy's telling me that he lost a bunch of weight and feels amazing on keto. So, like, I hear you, but, like, this sounds better.
We'll have to talk more about that. Now, Fit AF is located where? Near Scranton? That's not too far from me. I actually feel pretty hungry. Maybe I will just come over there now and I'll just come eat. All right, I'll see you in a minute.
If you want. What? Rick.
Jordan, I'm not really sure I'm going to be able to get through this whole episode. I'm pretty hungry.
All right, yeah.
How's it going? Welcome to Rip Fitness.
Thanks for having me. It's nice to meet you, Brick.
Yeah, likewise. Now, Rapid Fitness is a show. I talk to fitness coaches, I talk to fitness pros, and talk about all of the things you do to help people on their fitness journey. Now, you're not a fitness coach, right?
I do nutrition coaching, but my main business is separate from that.
Tell me about your main business. How'd you get into it?
Fit AF Nutrition is a meal...
Wait a minute. You said Fit AF.
Yes.
That's the name of your company?
It is, yeah.
What does do I even want to know what the AF stands for?
It could mean a couple things. What's your audience like? Depending on who's asking, if it's not appropriate to tell you what it actually was intended to stand for, it could mean fit and fresh, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. That.
Right? It's a good backup. But I'm like a pretty tongue-in-cheek guy, so I, when I created it, as much as I took it, like I, hoped the business would do well, but I was more like interested in having a good time and making myself laugh at the time. And I'm glad it worked out, and I'm glad people aren't dissuaded by the name. People actually really like it, which is good.
Now, can you tell us what inspired you to get started?
I've been in health and nutrition and fitness training for a while. So I was a personal trainer for many years and a nutrition coach as well. I moved out here to the Pennsylvania area 10 years ago and started kind of doing my own training thing. I also worked for a few people, a few different gyms. And I had one client specifically, his name was Mark, who asked me to start cooking his food for him. He would, train really hard in the gym, meet me a few times a week, train even without me a few times a week, and wasn't making any headway for weight loss. He had about 80 pounds to lose. And the issues for him ultimately are the issues for most people, in that food is often the limiting factor, right? You can work out a lot, you can put your steps in, you can take an ice bath, you can do whatever, but whatever goal you might have, especially if it's weight loss or even weight maintenance or putting on muscle or hypertrophy, diet is always not number one in some of those cases. It's very important, but at least for weight loss, it's kind of number one, mainly because you can lose weight without being in the gym just through diet. It's good to be weightlifting, especially maintaining muscle mass while you're dieting. But for the sake of what's actually the prerequisite to lose weight, it's, as you know, being in a calorie deficit and watching your intake. Anyway, so Mark asked me to start cooking his food. I did, somewhat reluctantly, but he paid me and I needed money at the time.
Yeah, get that bag.
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do. he started making
Yeah.
progress, and it was pretty cool to see. It was his barrier, right? Like he didn't have time. Like he was a full time student and worked. He didn't have time to make food for himself. There's at the time and even now really no healthy options to eat on the go. And a lot of people just don't know how to eat or cook healthy. That's like a pretty big thing as well.
Right.
Not that it's overly complicated or that there's secrets that we hold on to that we don't share with people, but
Right.
it's not intuitive unless you have a little bit of a background there. But yeah, and then more people start.
What do you think? What do you think that is? What do you think that is? Do you think that people just get the quantities wrong, or they add too much of the wrong stuff? What's happening there?
It's a couple things. I think in many senses, it's quantities, right? Like you could have a terrible diet eating whatever, fried food, processed food, and you could still lose weight, but the quantities are wrong. And it's harder with more palatable foods to consume less because they're not as satiating. They're not high in things like protein, fiber, and water that contribute to satiation and make it easier to eat less. So when you eat a high processed diet of foods that aren't good, it's way easy to overconsume. So that's kind of the predicament where we're at today in the world, where processed food's easy to come by. It's super delicious, and it's easy to make or easy to grab, and it's thus easy to overconsume also. But even when it comes to eating healthy, where do people go wrong? So one, I think, is the sort of fitness industry and influencers and all that. Like we've done a pretty bad job at agreeing upon things, and it's very confusing for people. And not that, I mean, foundationally, there's a lot of things that people who understand the research and how the body works, like there's things that we all know to be true. But then there's plenty of people who try to convince you that it's actually other things that are why, people are overweight. Like it's not, calories, it's carbohydrates, it's insulin. We need to fast. We need to watch our like all these things get confusing. So for the layperson who doesn't have time to like piece through all this, filter through it, and like find who they should actually be listening to or who they should be following, or by God, I mean, like read the actual research, like no one's going to do that, then it's virtually impossible for them to determine what's true and false, especially when some people are very convincing. Someone like back in the day, I used to love the owner of he started Bulletproof Coffee supplement company, Dave Asprey. I thought he was great. Like he came off very knowledgeable, and it wasn't until a few years in that I realized, oh, he's just trying to sell things. I was very convinced that he had the answer to a lot of things. It's easy. So it's easy to like, it's the common thing. It's like to come up with an hypothesis or a theory or what you state as what you believe to be fact that goes against the norm, right? Like, oh, everybody's doing this and here's why they're wrong, but I have the secret and it's found in whatever, butter coffee or low carb diets or fasting or these supplements. And here's how you get what you want. And there's something that's like really sexy about that. Like you hear it, you're like, oh, I finally stumbled upon the answers. Like this guy's going to give them to me. And it's alluring and you feel good. And then you start to like, it becomes like who you are. And it's like, yeah, I'm a person who, does the correct things. All these other people are doing things wrong. It's just a funny situation that I've found myself in, even knowing a good amount. But that the common person who wants to learn about nutrition, who wants to learn how to better themselves, improve their health, look better, feel better, all that stuff, they easily will fall into it for no fault of their own.
I had a guest on one time. His name's Aram, and his username was 4 weeks to the beach. Now, that's a pretty funny joke because I think a lot of people look at eating the same way. They're like, which diet will get me there the fastest? But the reality is, can you stay on that diet? Is it sustainable?
Right.
So that's really it. It's really what works for you might not work for somebody else.
That's the punchline, right? It's that every diet works because it gets you in a calorie deficit. Therefore, no diet is better than another. And this has been proven over and over again, from high fat to low carb to high fat. Fasting, no advantage over, eating all day, every day. No diet is better. And the answer is whatever is sustainable for you is the best. But that's not a sexy answer, and that doesn't sell. And no one, like, you hear that and you're a layperson, you're like, yeah, but like this guy's telling me that he lost a bunch of weight and feels amazing on keto. So like, I hear you, but like, this sounds better. That's the predicament we're in.
As the owner of Fit AF, you take these things into consideration. So you have a couple different meals for all different diets, right?
We do. We offer everything from your regularly put together meal, veggie, starch, protein, to a low carb variation of that, and everything in between. Ultimately, despite
Getting hungry.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of hungry too. I'm gonna grab something. Do you get your Fit AF meals, Brick?
Oh, so I used to have them. They come in those green bags, right?
Yeah. You still got them?
I don't have them right now.
No.
I don't have a plan.
I'll get you on a plan.
We'll have to talk more about that. Yeah, we'll have to talk more about that.
You look like you could use a little more protein.
Oh, I love protein. Do most of your meals have a lot of protein?
Yes. We definitely are protein
Nice.
So as you were saying, yes, we do.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, you like protein.
Oh yeah.
We do offer a variety of diets, including keto. As much as I'm talking about it now, like people like, and some people thrive on it. I think my whole thing with certain diets is don't feel like you need to jump to something like keto, which is very hard to sustain for the average person. Don't feel like you need to jump to that to be healthier, to lose weight. I think that's my message I like to get across to people is sustainability is key. Also because a lot of people jump on these diets and then weight relapse is almost as big as a concern as losing the weight to begin with. You can lose the weight and then relapse your weight by coming off of said diet. You stopped eating carbs. Well, now you're introducing carbs and you didn't learn anything from being on keto in terms of portion size. So now you're back to the same weight. Yes, we do a variety of meal types and diets. Ultimately, it's high quality ingredients, definitely protein focused with things like veggies and complex carbohydrates. And some of them happen to be, paleo. Some of them happen to be Whole30. Some of them happen to be pescatarian. Like, we'll throw the labels on in case you are somebody who follows a paleo diet. But if you're just looking for healthy, nutritious meals that are conveniently delivered to you, you don't really care about paleo. You can get whichever meals sound good to you. And if they are paleo, that's fine. It doesn't matter. That's what I tell people. There's nothing.
No, wait a minute. What does paleo mean?
How we define it and when we build meals: grain-free, soy-free. Basically, starches are coming from sweet potatoes or potatoes, protein focused.
Sweet potatoes. Nice.
Yeah, nice, right?
Yeah. You got any sweet potatoes over there right now?
I think I do, actually. Yeah, I think I got a bag of them.
Wow. That's incredible. Now, Fit AF is located where? Near Scranton?
Yeah, right outside Scranton. Our facility is actually in Carbondale.
That's not too far from me.
No.
What do you think? I'm actually feel pretty hungry. So maybe I will just come over there now and I'll just come eat. All right, I'll see you in a minute.
If you want. What?
Rick. You live like 30,000 steps away. Do you have any idea?
I had no idea.
But, all right. So, what are we cooking?
We don't have to cook anything.
What?
Yeah, that's the beauty of
Fit AF Nutrition is everything's done.
I brought you a hat.
I appreciate you bringing me the hat. I'm not going to wear it, but it's appreciated.
All right. Well, where's the food?
I mean, I have my meals here, which I suppose I could share.
Yeah, show me. That's a cool bag.
Thanks. What do I have this week? This is shrimp poke bowl. I got a Wagyu burger, truffle aioli, and a couple wild boar chorizo burrito bowls.
Wow. Where do you come up with these ideas?
I use the chefs that we have at Fit AF Nutrition to be creative and come up with new recipes, and it's usually a back and forth between me as the kind of nutritionist to figure out the health and taste of things without making them too calorically heavy.
So, how many calories are in each one?
Well, it depends on the size. So here we have our signature, lean signature performance. So basically small, medium, large. Our leans average about 400 calories, 30 plus grams of protein.
Whoa, that's nice. That sounds good.
I know.
Tell me more about that.
So the protein goes up with each tier. So then the signatures are 500 calories, generally 40 plus grams of protein. And then performance are upwards of 700-800 calories with 60 plus grams of protein.
So let me get this straight. You have 3 different sizes for each meal?
Yes.
Wow. So if I'm trying to lose weight, probably these ones, right?
Yes. A lot of people do use our leans for weight loss, but it ultimately depends. I mean, I would, as a male who's over 200 pounds, our signature and even our performance meals are adequate for me to be in a calorie deficit.
Interesting. And how many meals are typically in a box?
That depends on how many meals you want. So there's no minimum or there's nothing you have to subscribe to. There's no subscription.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
I don't need a subscription.
You do not.
Oh, that's great. I always forget. And then I'll have stuff in my house and I'm away.
Yes.
Ugh.
No one likes that.
No one does. That's great.
Yeah. So above, as long as you get 4 meals, you can get as many as you want. Any sort of meal size, and you could mix and match as you'd like.
Now, before we got here, I was telling you, I remember the snacks.
Yes.
What kind of snacks you got?
We do a few different things. I think you tried our superfood bites one time. Those are like an oat-based protein bite, and we do different mushroom extracts in them. We put in like cordyceps, lion's mane, chaga, things like that as a nice little touch. And
you guys gotta try them. They're really good.
And we do protein donuts.
Protein donuts?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get those.
Order them from our website. A bunch
What's
of
your
different
website?
Flavors, fitafnutrition.com.
Nice. Now, let's talk about these meals more.
Sure.
Do you have different ones for different diets?
Yes. We do everything from keto meals, low carb meals.
That's like when people are just eating meat, right?
Yes, it tends to be higher fat, protein, and low carbohydrate.
What kind of meals you got for them?
Every meal generally comes in a regular version and a low carb or keto version. It's honestly just how popular low carb is right now.
Right.
So every meal so our wild boar chorizo burrito bowl also comes in a wild boar chorizo low carb burrito bowl where we swap out the white rice with cauliflower rice. Or the grass-fed Wagyu burger, which comes with purple sweet potato fries, also has another variation, which just comes with more veggies as opposed to the sweet potato fries. So almost every meal comes in 2 varieties for everybody's preference.
Now, how long does it take to cook?
It depends on your microwave, about 60 to 120 seconds.
Oh, that's incredible. That's really quick.
Sure.
Let's get cooking. I'm hungry. We gotta finish this repisode.
You want to eat something?
Yeah. I got a long walk back. Come on.
You want some food?
I walked here. I need some protein.
You want me to warm something up for you?
Yeah. I need that. I need that now.
What do you want? The chorizo bowl, the shrimp poke, or the Wagyu burger?
You know what? Can I put all 3 in?
I mean, they're my meals, but I guess.
Well, they're my meals now.
Touche.
Yeah. All right, I'll just take 1. Let me do 1, and then I'll get back to the studio, and we'll finish this episode.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'm back. That was a great meal, I'll be honest. That was really good. Now, Thanks for letting me in your house. I'm sorry that I took all of your meals.
It's all right.
Don't look in your fridge. That would confirm it. But listen, you mentioned your friend Mark and how you got started. Now that you've been doing this for quite some time, what is the most rewarding thing you could think of in this moment about this whole experience?
I mentioned before I do nutrition coaching. FitAF has a line of we have dietitians on staff, and we coach people to further help with things like weight loss and performance. But funny enough, the most rewarding is every few weeks I'll get an email or something from a customer who I mean, we've grown a little bit. I don't know, obviously, face to face all my customers, but a lot of them do use us for weight loss. And every few weeks I get somebody who's like, dude, I just lost, I finished losing 30, 40, 20 pounds, whatever it was. I lost a bunch of weight.
Wow.
And that's like almost more, I mean, I like directly helping people, of course, yes. But the fact that people come to us and are able to use the meals and fit it into their plan and lose weight. And then I hear about that. That's very rewarding because I forget that a lot of people use us for different means and that the meals just really help people with various aspects of their health journey. So yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, I sometimes get a DM here and there from someone that said, hey, Brick, your video this morning, it got me to the gym. And man, that's what this is all about. Just helping people. It feels so good to get messages like that. And people should send more of them to each other, But do you have any clients like Brick that are celebrities? Anyone come to mind that are eating your meals?
No one as famous as you.
Well, I don't disagree. Listen, what's one key takeaway you want our listeners or our viewers to remember about the importance of nutrition and meal prepping for fitness?
It doesn't need to be complicated.
No,
it's easy to say. But I think kind of like what we were talking
It's easy to say, but you gotta do something. That's the thing.
Right.
People just don't want to do anything. You just gotta do it, and it's not that hard.
Part of that hesitation is sometimes the confusion that goes, or the lack of clarity, right? It's like, well, I know I need to do something, but like, what should I do? Well, I could do these, and I see that this person says this is the right thing for, like in terms of even exercise, like, oh, should I join a gym? Should I join a class? Like, what should I do? I mean, in terms of exercise, it's kind of just like get some movement. Lifting weights is probably the most ideal thing you could do for yourself, probably even long term. But some sort of movement is better than none. Similarly, nutrition wise, I mean, minimally processed foods, whole grains, veggies, fruits, lean proteins. It's really what it comes down to. It's not sexy. No one's making millions of dollars telling you to eat lean proteins and veggies. But it's what works more than anything else could, or despite what they want to convince you that something else might work better. But yeah, don't overcomplicate. You just got to kind of jump in. So if it is somebody who's like hesitant, like I totally get it. Again, I think about it when I think of investing. Investing to me is very confusing, but like you got to start somewhere. And like, I don't want to be 65 without money in the bank. So you just kind of do it. And then you figure it out along the way, what works best for you. And that's what's most important. Who cares what somebody says is the best thing to do? If you do something because someone told you and it makes you feel like crap, like eating a low carbohydrate diet, I did that years ago. It's not good for you. If it doesn't feel good, it's probably not meant for you, even if it worked for somebody else. I think that's important to remember.
You got to do what's right for you, and then you're going to feel fit AF. Did I do that right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Good.
Now, Jordan, thanks for being a guest on Rapid Fitness. I'm going to go finish these meals because I took them all.
Right.
Hey, we'll see you next time on the next repisode.
Thanks, Breck.